This video is brought to you by Pete and Pedro.
When I worked at a restaurant, my boss from the Czech had the most glorious beard to match his culinary skills. Not a nanometer of skin could be seen south of his face's equator. It was just pure black. I was envious to say the least. And despite the fact that most of my genes come from here, I did not inherit those genes when it comes to facial hair. It's not that thick and it's quite patchy, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys are experiencing something similar. But that's okay, I'm gonna help you out and we're gonna go over a few things. I'm gonna help you find the right facial hair for your face. I'm also gonna show you how to make your facial hair look thicker by actually trimming it. And I'm also going to do something I haven't done in 6 years, and I am absolutely terrified. So let's just do this. First thing we need to do is find out our goals. In my case, that is two things. One, I want my facial hair to just look thicker overall. And I want to find something that will complement my face shape. In this case right now, it's just a classic short beard that's kind of even all the way through. But I will experiment later and show you guys other styles that would help with my face shape and possibly yours. Now this next step is one of the most important, and that is you want to identify the thickest and thinnest parts, areas of your facial hair. In my case, the thickest parts are the chin, this line here, this little goatee region, and just this little area of the mustache, which I call the Charlie Chaplin stash. Now the thinnest parts for me are the rest of the mustache, this little area near my goatee region, and halfway up my cheeks. Now I have a kind of round face, and I have lines here and a really small mouth, or it looks small because my lips are so thick, right? So these lines here, because they're vertical and they're hugging my lips, my mouth, right? It makes it look really small. So it makes my face look rounder and chubbier. So I want to eliminate these lines from really being apparent. And since my chin isn't super chiseled, I could benefit from having it look a little more chiseled. So I'm gonna keep the chin the longest, right? And the more angled I cut it here, the more chiseled it's gonna look, the more pronounced it's gonna look. Now that we identified on what we want and how we want to do it, it's time to trim. But before you do anything, please grab a comb, probably something better than this, and comb out your beard. Because if your beard is all flared out and you cut it, by the time you actually comb it into place, it's gonna look terrible. It's gonna be way too short in some areas and too long in others, and it's just gonna look messy. So this is the first step before actually trimming your beard that you want to do. Now for trimming, you wanna grab your beard trimmer, and any old beard trimmer will do. You don't need anything fancy. And your guards. Now for me, the longest I'm gonna have it is a 3 guard, and the shortest is a 1. So I'm gonna be using just a 1, a 2, and a 3. So I'm just gonna put on the 3 guard and trim the entire thing. So yeah, it's looking a lot cleaner, but it still didn't make the thin parts look thicker, and I still have these lines here. So how do we fix this? And this is the best tip and the trick to making your beard look thicker. To make your beard look thicker, make it thinner. Now I know that sounds like the total opposite of what you want to do, but hear me out. The reason it looks thin is because there's too much contrast between the thin parts and the real thick parts. All the thick areas that are adjacent to thinner areas, trim them down and make them thinner. Do not touch the thin areas, only the thick areas. By doing that, you're evening it out, and it won't make the thin areas look thin. It'll just make it look thicker and more even overall. Now to do that, I'm gonna start with this area, and I'm going to use a 1 guard on these areas right here. And now you think having a 3 right next to a 1, it would provide way too much contrast and look odd, but it blends surprisingly well. See? We've eliminated most of those lines already, and it doesn't make my face look as fat, and it makes this area look a lot thicker. Like you can't really see those thin parts as much. And I'll do the same to my Charlie Chaplin stash up here. And boom, it's already evening that stash out quite nicely. Now the only thing that's left are these thin areas on the cheek. I'll make it look like a fade, so it'll look like it's just naturally fading here. You would never have guessed that this area is thick and this area isn't, because it looks like an intentional fade. See, looking a lot better already, a lot cleaner and more natural and thicker too. Now, I'm just gonna use a 2 for a little bit of blending. Maybe a little here to kind of blend this area up a bit, a little down here, maybe a little bit of the stash. Yeah, 2 for me is good for blending. Better than last time when I accidentally put the 2 across my whole face instead of a 3. That delayed production quite a bit. This is a 2? You gotta be shitting me, man. So next up, we gotta clean up the edges, and that's the neck and optionally the top of the cheeks. Now, if it's really growing up, yeah, I'd recommend trimming the cheeks. Me personally, I'm gonna keep it the way it is. I like a natural look. And if you are going to trim the cheeks, please, for the love of God, do not overdo it like the barbers on Instagram, okay? And I know all the guys go, oh, yo, that looks so clean, bro. No, it doesn't look clean. It looks plastic, or better yet, it looks like you're a kid who drew on a beard with marker, which is pretty dumb. Sorry. Not sorry. Sorry, looks bad. But where you trim your beard is really important. And here's a little tip for you guys. Keep it on the roof, take it off the wall. And what I mean by that weird Michael Scott analogy is anything here on the roof, so to speak, of your chin, keep. Anything on the wall of your neck, take out, okay? Now, I know a lot of guys will actually cut it right here across the jawbone, right? Thinking that it'll make it look more defined and chiseled, but it doesn't. Not only does it make your beard look really small and thin because you're taking out most of it instead of keeping it all here, making it look nice and thick and luscious, but instead, it doesn't look chiseled. You're not fooling anybody, and instead, you really get to see the skin, the flabby skin flopping around like a waterbed. So, no, don't do that anymore, okay? I used to do it. It doesn't work, trust me. Now, the tool to clean up the edges, we're not going to use a beard trimmer, right? We're going to shave this bad boy. We're going to do it right. And we're not going to use a disposable razor, right? We're going to use something that my father uses and his father before him. A safety razor. Safety razors are old school, and not only are they cool and old school, but they're coming back for good reason, and it's because they benefit over disposable razors in almost every single way. And so that's why I'm really happy to be using this one by Pete and Pedro, our sponsor today. I mean, not only do the bodies look super cool on these, but they'll last you a lifetime, and the blades are super cheap. I mean, we're talking like down to a dime per blade, and you can get like 5 shaves off of these. So I mean, hey, wet my neck here. It's good to do this after a shower. And then get my brush and get our shaving soap, also from Pete and Pedro. Lather that sucker up. Start applying to the neck. Oh, I love doing this. See, the only reason disposable razors are popular is because they really only benefit the manufacturers because they're so cheap to make, and you end up spending more money on more razors than you will with this. And even though these actually cost more up front because, you know, it's a nice quality piece of metal, you still save a crap ton of money in the long run, which is why, like, I mean, I gotta give props to Pete and Pedro for that, because it's like they know they're not gonna make as much money off of this thing, but they still do it because it's good and it's quality, which makes me want to support them even more. So massive props to Pete and Pedro for that. So there you go. This is a nice, clean, full bearded look, right? But not all of you guys have facial hair like mine, so I'm gonna try out some different styles I'm gonna use with this razor, and then I'm gonna do something I have not done in 6 years. I'm gonna shave my entire face. I am so nervous. I'm gonna look like a pasty turtle. But let's say that your gap here is even bigger than this and it can't really connect at all. And I know a lot of guys have this issue, and I used to too. It didn't really fill in here at all. So what I would do, and I saw a lot of guys do on Instagram, is shave this off. So that's what we're gonna do. Boom, see? It's a look, you know? So if you don't have a lot here, no worries. Just shave that off, you know, make this nice and shapely, and you're looking pretty crispy. Let's say you don't have enough hair on your cheeks at all. No biggie. Let's shave it off. I've never done this look before, but to be honest, it isn't that bad. I mean, think about it. Most guys, if they can grow facial hair at all, it's mainly the chin and the mustache. So even just this creates a fuller look than just a mustache, where sometimes it'll be called a creep, or just a goatee. The goatee mustache combo, it's kind of beard-like still, and I don't think it looks too bad. But we don't care about that because we're just going to shave this entire thing off. Let's do it. my gosh! What the actual fuck? What the hell? Oh! 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 Go back on! Where's the hairs, man? Oh! Yikes! I thought it was the weight I was gonna worry about. Little did I know it was my whole face. Even the camera doesn't like it. Well, even though I expected to look different, maybe like a gas station version of Antonio Banderas, I did not expect to look like Jeffrey Fungus from Monsters, Inc. Blech. But you know what? Despite that and the fact that I'll probably will not shave completely like this in the foreseeable future, you know what? I'm still glad I did it. And with the safety razor, which I'll be definitely using for now on, it was so much more enjoyable. Despite the learning curve, it's so much fun to use. And hey, you know what? We got a few good looks accomplished. We learned how to make a not so dense beard look denser by taking out the contrast. We came up with some good looks for those who don't have enough facial hair in areas that usually don't fill in for a lot of people, and went fully clean, as I recommend for those who can't grow much at all. A massive thank you to Pete and Pedro for sponsoring today's video. They're the only sponsors that I've accepted on this channel because I actually love all of their stuff. And if you guys have not switched to a safety razor yet, do it now. I guarantee that you will not regret it. There's so many benefits to these and they're just awesome. So go click the link below to go pick yours up. And I also have a coupon code for you guys as well. So you might want to hurry up on that. But before you do click that, comment down below and let me know what kind of facial hair are you guys rocking, and will you imply any of these tips that I've mentioned? And until next time, adios. I know it's winter, but I'm so pale. I really wonder what my lips would look like if I didn't have that accident. Probably wouldn't look like a, Jeffrey Fungus. Blech.